Today, let's talk about our new version of the videos, that is emergency medicines. So, in the emergency medicines, we will first go in detail with antiarrhythmic agents or antiarrhythmic drugs. So before going in detail with antiarrhythmic agents or antiarrhythmic drugs, we will first see that is what is arrhythmia. What is arrhythmia? So arrhythmia is nothing but the abnormal heart rhythm. That is nothing but the abnormal or irregular heartbeat. So the arrhythmia is nothing but abnormal heart rhythm, or we will also call it as a irregular heartbeat. So sometime heart will beat too much fast or sometime it will beat too much slow. That is nothing but the irregular heartbeat. So in order to know the abnormal heart rhythm, we must know what is the normal heart rhythm. That is nothing but the normal cardiac rhythm. There are usually 4 criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm. The first criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm is the heart rate of that person must between 60 beats per minute to 100 beats per minute. That the person must having the heartbeat between 60 beats per minute to the 100 beats per minute. This is the first criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm. So the second criteria is the heartbeat must originate from SA node. SA node, which is nothing but the pacemaker of the human heart. This is the second criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm. The third criteria is nothing but the cardiac impulse. The cardiac impulse must propagate from the normal conduction pathway. Third criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm is the cardiac impulse must propagates through normal conduction system or normal conduction pathway. So the question arises, what is the normal conduction pathway? So the normal conduction pathway, the impulse for the contraction of the heart is firstly originate at a SA node, which is the pacemaker of the human heart. So the normal conduction pathway consisting of first is SA node, where the impulse is created for the contraction of the heart. Then from SA node the impulse goes towards the AV node. From AV node the impulse further goes towards the bundle branch. From bundle branch the further impulse goes towards the right side as well as left side. So the impulse from the bundle branch going towards the right bundle branch, also towards the left bundle, and from right and left bundle branch impulse further goes towards the from the right as well as left bundle branch impulse further goes towards the Purkinje fibers, and from Purkinje fibers or through Purkinje fibers the impulse is spreads all over the ventricular wall. So this is the third criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm. That is nothing but the cardiac impulse must propagate through the normal conduction pathway, and that conduction pathway is nothing but from SA node where the impulse is created. From SA node the impulse is further goes towards the AV node. From AV node it will further goes towards the bundle branch, and from bundle branch it will further goes toward the right as well as left bundle branch, and from right and left bundle branch the impulse further spreads through the Purkinje fibers all over the ventricular. And the fourth criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm, that is nothing but the impulse must propagate with normal velocity. So the impulse must propagate through the normal velocity. It must not be too much fast or must not be too much slow. Again, I will recap the four criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm. The first criteria is nothing but the heart rate must between the 60 beats per minute to the 100 beats per minute. Second criteria is nothing but the heartbeat must originate from the SA node. Third criteria is nothing but the cardiac impulse must propagate through the normal conduction pathway. The normal conduction pathway is nothing but the impulse is created at SA node for the contraction of the heart, and from SA node it will further goes towards the AV node, and from AV node it will further goes towards the bundle branch. From bundle branch it will further goes towards the right bundle branch as well as left bundle branch, and from left bundle branch as well as right bundle branch impulse further travels towards the Purkinje fibers, and through Purkinje fibers it will spread all over the ventricular wall. And the last criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm is impulse must propagate with the normal velocity. It must not be too fast or must not be too slow. It must travel with the normal velocity. For example, if any patient came towards you having a heartbeat 130 beats per minute, that is nothing but abnormal heart rhythm. So we will diagnose this patient as a cardiac arrhythmic patient. Another example for the cardiac arrhythmias is nothing but if any patient came towards you and his heartbeat is not originating from the SA node, his heartbeat is originating from the AV node. So this patient may also diagnose with the cardiac arrhythmias, and such a patient must be managed with the antiarrhythmic agents. So again I will recap. The arrhythmia is nothing but the abnormal heart rhythm. So in order to know the abnormal heart rhythm, we must know what is a normal heart rhythm or a normal cardiac rhythm. So there are usually four criteria for the normal cardiac rhythm. So first is that is nothing but the heart rate must between the 60 beats per minute to the 100 beats per minute. Second criteria is nothing but heartbeat must originate from the SA node. Third criteria is nothing but the cardiac impulse must propagate through the normal conduction pathway, that is nothing but SA node where the impulse is created for the contraction of the heart. From SA node it will further goes towards the AV node, from AV node towards bundle branch, from bundle branch the impulse further travels towards the right as well as left bundle branch, and from right and left bundle branch the impulse further travels through the Purkinje fibers through all over the ventricular wall. And the last criteria is nothing but the impulse must propagate with the normal velocity, that is nothing but impulse must not be very fast or must not be very slow. This is a simple diagram for understanding purpose. On x-axis there are heartbeats. So 60 beats per minute to the 100 beats per minute, these are the normal range. And having the normal criteria, that is nothing but heart rate between the 60 to 100 beats per minute, heartbeat originating from SA node, cardiac impulse propagate with the normal conduction pathway and with the normal velocity. So this is the normal cardiac rhythm, having heartbeats between 60 beats per minute to the 100 beats per minute. What happens when the heartbeats get rises? So when the heart rate or the heartbeats get rises between the 100 beats per minute to the 150 beats per minute. So when this heartbeats goes between the 100 to 150 range, it will simply called as simple tachyarrhythmias. What happens when the heart rate rises above the 150 beats per minute? So heart rate between the 150 beats per minute to the 250 beats per minute are called as paroxysmal tachyarrhythmia. And when the heart rate rises above the 250 beats per minute, in between the 250 beats per minute to the 350 beats per minute, it is called as flutter. And above the 350 beats per minute or more than 350 beats per minute, it will called as fibrillations. What happens when the heartbeats goes more and more lesser than the 60 beats per minute? Between the 60 to the 40 beats per minute, it will simply called as mild bradyarrhythmias. From 40 beats to the 20 beats per minute, it will called as moderate bradyarrhythmias. And from 20 to the 0 beats per minute, it will called as severe bradyarrhythmias. And all these bradyarrhythmias as well as tachyarrhythmias, it requires a proper medical management, and this proper medical management we can achieve with the help of antiarrhythmic drugs. We have to treat the arrhythmias. The arrhythmias is of two types, that is tachyarrhythmias and second is that is bradyarrhythmias. So the arrhythmias usually are of two types, that is tachyarrhythmias as well as bradyarrhythmias. So the tachyarrhythmias consisting of three types and the bradyarrhythmias also consisting of three. We will first talk about the tachyarrhythmias. So tachyarrhythmias are of further three types. First is that is simple tachyarrhythmias. First is simple tachyarrhythmias. Second is paroxysmal tachyarrhythmias. And third is nothing but flutters. Flutters further develops into the severe, that is nothing but the fibrillations. So in the simple tachyarrhythmias, the heart rate is between 100 to 150. 100 to 150 beats per minute. I will use another pen. The heart rate in a simple tachyarrhythmias is between 100 to 150 beats per minute. In the paroxysmal tachyarrhythmias, the heart rate between the simply it will between the 150 to 250 beats per minutes, and in flutters the heart rate is in between 250 to 350 beats per minute, and in fibrillations it will more than 350 beats per minute. Now we will talk about bradyarrhythmias. So the bradyarrhythmias further classified into three types, that is mild bradyarrhythmia, moderate bradyarrhythmias, and third is that is severe bradyarrhythmia. So in mild bradyarrhythmia, the heart rate is in between 60 to 40 beats per minute. In moderate, it is in between 40 to 20 beats per minute. And in severe bradyarrhythmias, the heart rate is in between 0 to 20 beats per. All these medical emergencies we have to treat with the antiarrhythmic drugs. So let's talk about the brief classification of antiarrhythmic drugs. So the classification of the antiarrhythmic drugs consisting of usually 4 classes. It will further classified into 4 classes, that is nothing but class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 4. Class 1 type of the antiarrhythmic drugs usually consisting of 3 subclasses. Class 2 type of the antiarrhythmic drugs is usually a beta blockers, and then comes the class 3 and class 4 types of antiarrhythmic drugs. So let's talk about the class 1 type of antiarrhythmic drugs. So the class 1 type of antiarrhythmic drugs usually consisting of 3 subclasses, that is A, B and C. So the A subclass usually consisting of this sorts of drug. First is that is nothing but quinidine, second is that is procanamide, third is disopyramide and last is that is morphine. The subclass B contain first is eptoin sodium, second is tocanide and third is mexiletine. And the subclass C contain the first is nicanide, second is flecainide and third is prophenone. These are the class 1 antiarrhythmic drugs. Now let's talk about the class 2, that is beta blockers types of antiarrhythmic drugs. Class 2 antiarrhythmic drugs usually consisting of beta blockers, that is propranolol and second is that is esmolol. Now let's talk about the class 3rd of the antiarrhythmic drugs. It usually consisting of amiodarone, bretillium and sotalol. Amiodarone also called as cardiorone. And last class, that is class 4 of antiarrhythmic drugs consisting of verapamil. Now let's recap the classification of antiarrhythmic drugs. So the antiarrhythmic drugs are further classified into 4 main classes. First is that is class 1. So the class 1 consisting of 3 subclasses. The first class consisting of quinidine, procanamide, disopyramide and morphine. Class 2 consisting of eptoin sodium, second is tocanide and third is mexiletine. And the subclass C consisting of nicanide, flecainide and prophenone. Then comes the class 2 antiarrhythmic drugs. It usually consisting of beta blockers. So it consisting of propranolol and esmolol. Class 3 antiarrhythmic drugs consisting of amiodarone, bretillium and sotalol. And the class 4 antiarrhythmic drugs consisting of verapamil. This is all about the small concept and the classification of the antiarrhythmic drugs.